know, I just made this YouTube channel. This is my first video on it. This is what if Deku had lost power. I got the inspiration from Kid Zeus, but you know, finna make this bit 5 in. So, alright. It all started when when Deku was born. He was born like the anime, all that stuff. But then when he was 4, he actually got a quirk. He had a quirk, and it was a powerful quirk. It was a quirk that let him control everything in a dome of energy that he could make. Anything in that dome, he controlled. He can do many things with the dome too. You feel me? No homo. Pause. Pause. Oh yeah, I'm finna love this YouTube channel. But so it's like the picture on the screen, right? Minus the X in the other 2 circles. Alright, so Bakugo got his quirk, and he was like, Bakugo, if you watch My Hero Academia, he was like, oh, look at my quirk. It's so fantastic. Look at this, bruh. It's so cool. It's way better than everybody's. And he was getting praised for it. But then there was like, look over there at Deku's quirk. At this time, it was like a small dome, so he could. It was like, say, it was only the length it was like 6 feet in every direction. So, but nonetheless, it was still cool as freak, you know. He could control everything in it, and people would be like, Deku's quirk way better than yours, Bakugo. So Bakugo took that, but some people was on Deku about his quirk, and some people was on Bakugo about his quirk. But Deku a genius in this what if. Upon the amazing quirk, he's a genius. So then one day he was just playing, right? He was just playing. He's still in elementary school. He was just playing, and Bakugo. This is when Bakugo tried to bully him, right? So Bakugo came up to him, and let's just say he hit him. He came with his shoulder and bumped shoulders with him on purpose. Deku, not seeing it like a threat or anything, didn't do anything about it. And Bakugo ego flared up, and he saw that he could get away with that. So every day he would start doing more and more and more things. Then one day he actually tried to hit Deku with an explosion. It wasn't a very strong explosion, but it was an explosion. So it hit Deku, and it like scratched him. It just scratched him. They in elementary school, his explosions aren't powerful. But then Deku used his quirk and then made Bakugo float in the dome, right? But and then he punched Bakugo so hard that he went unconscious instantly. They both got in trouble. Sorry for the pause there. My video has stopped recording. But anyway, they both got in trouble, even though Bakugo started it. And they was like, Deku, you need to use your quirk. You need to not use your quirk in school without permission. Stuff like that. You know, Deku was at the top of his class and stuff. because he's a genius. And so he just got a slap on the wrist, you know. But Bakugo, on the other hand, Bakugo got told off. Bakugo got, rolled up or something. And his mother was mad at him. What's her name again? I forgot. I'm probably gonna look it up in the next part or something. But so he started not bullying Deku like that, but he still had his ego because he saw what Deku could do. It didn't. It frightened him, but it didn't frighten him enough to make him a different person. So they're in middle school. You all know this part. You know, the teacher comes in. What do you guys want to be? Throws the papers up. I know what you want to be. Y'all want to be heroes. Everybody get hype as freak. And then this man Bakugo start saying all of you are useless and stuff. All that stuff. Then they say who. Then the teacher says who applied for UA. Bakugo. He hyped up for he talking about everybody, saying everybody are like peasants in his eyes and stuff like that, useless. And then the teacher says Izuku Midoriya, and it makes Bakugo mad because he thought he was the only one that applied for UA, but he wasn't. So he's scared of Deku, not scared of Deku, but he not trying to just mess with Deku like talking about no more. So they all leave. Deku's taking a shortcut to his house because he wants to train for the UA entrance exam. And then he feel a presence behind him. Not really feel a presence, but I guess you can say that. And then the the sludge villain comes from the sewers. Well, not from the sewers, but he comes out and tries to take over Deku's body. As soon as he was in range, Deku activated his dome and then made the sludge villain stop. The sludge villain is paralyzed. And then Deku just teleports to the sludge villain. And then he hits the sludge villain like a bunch of times. But not knowing that the sludge villain will not feel no pain. And then lets his dome off because he thinks he's gonna feel pain. And then the sludge villain just flies back and hits the wall and spreads apart. He doesn't feel it, but he splits apart. Then All Might comes around the corner, and sees the sludge everywhere. And asks Izuku, did you do this? And then Izuku's like, yeah, and all that stuff. And then he's like, oh my god, it's All Might. He's still an All Might fan. So then he asks for All Might's autograph. And then All Might jumps off, and then he actually still grabs onto All Might's leg because he still wants to ask him a question. But it's not, can I become a hero without a quirk? He grabs onto his leg and flies with All Might. They land on the rooftop, and then All Might de-transforms. And Deku is like, where did All Might go? And there's only this skinny old man. And then All Might's like, I'm All Might and stuff like that. No, then he says, oh. Then he asks All Might, do you think I can become a hero with a quirk that doesn't cover a large area. Not, I mean, with not a flashy quirk. You know, because it's flashy, but it's not flashy. You know, if you don't see what it can do, it's not that flashy. So then All Might was like, as long as you can have a quirk, you can do something with it. You can become a hero. Then Deku leaves there happy, not sad this time. But then he hears explosions and sees smoke, fire coming from the way he was walking, and sees a whole crowd of people around. Then he sees Bakugo. After he sees Bakugo, he runs because he sees that Bakugo is in trouble and none of the pro heroes are doing anything. And then he uses his dome when he's with the sludge villain and then teleports Bakugo out. Because you know he can manipulate everything. He can teleport himself. He can teleport other people. You know, stuff like that. He can manipulate people, make them stop everything. You know, stuff like that, make them float. So then after he does that, he he stops the sludge villain and asks one of the pro heroes to come in and capture the sludge villain. So, because the sludge villain can't move. So then he gets the sludge villain, and then they get the sludge villain, and they're praising Deku because his quirk and how he handled the situation. But they also scored him from running in because it could have been dangerous. So Deku's walking home, and then he sees All Might. All Might says he All Might says he wants him to be his student, and he wants to give Deku his quirk. And in this what if, I would say no, but this time I'm actually gonna say yes. Deku accepts his quirk and then goes